Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. Let's go back into the courtroom in Florida and see more of the cross-examination of Wendi Adelson's lawyer.
What ultimately is the consequence of that is my question.
So ultimately, the ultimate consequences, we would probably get a final judgment against him for the amount that was owed.
Like a lien.
And a lien against, and we would get a lien against the house, and we would, and then I have to do this often, I would send them to a debt collector attorney who would then have to file another suit to be able to collect that money, and then they would probably be able to go into his assets and get the assets. So it's a multiple stage process, which is why I just wanted him to pay the money and not make me do this.
So if it was successful, probably a lien, worst case scenario, he could go to jail. And then him being an attorney, though, could he lose his bar license, possibly? If he's held in contempt of court? Or at least be in trouble with the bar?
He could. I've had lawyers held in contempt of court over these issues before. I haven't had one lose their license yet.
Okay.
But they could. It is a possibility.
Did you inform Wendi Adelson that you were seeking to have him held in contempt?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I probably did, because it's kind of a generalized form. It's a motion for contempt and enforcement.
Okay. And then at some point, did he allege that Wendi Adelson should be held in contempt?
I don't know if contempt, I can't remember if he actually said she should be held in contempt legally the way that I was using it. I think his pleadings were much more, Wendi should be disbarred.
Okay.
I mean, that's what he specifically said.
Right.
That she was committing fraud and she should be disbarred.
Would you describe this divorce as contentious?
I wouldn't describe the divorce as particularly contentious at all compared to most of the divorces I had. I mean, we settled it. I don't settle a lot of my cases where we actually go to week-long trials over things of that nature. I think it was like any divorce where there were ups and downs of moments where it was contentious and not fun, but for the most part, we kind of settled it. We settled it after mediation, and it wasn't a problem. I do think that this whole issue of the enforcement got a little contentious. I really didn't understand it because he paid the first $50,000 fine, and then all of a sudden he decided not to pay the rest, and I didn't really get it and know why he was doing that, because the parenting stuff didn't come up for like several months afterwards. So none of what he was doing made sense. I think he just got upset with Wendi or something. I don't know what it was.
Okay, thank you for that information. It wasn't contentious, but you did say that his motions were very personal. His pleadings were very personal.
That's where I think it became contentious, is when he did that.
Was that personal attacks on both Wendi Adelson and you?
Correct.
And he was alleging that Wendi Adelson committed fraud, right?
Yes.
He's alleging you committed fraud.
I did.
It got so bad that you had to get off the case so that you could be a witness on Wendi Adelson's behalf, right?
Correct. That's happened before, though. I mean, I've had that happen before.
And he alleged Wendi should be disbarred, you said.
Correct.
And he's having issues with Wendi's mom, Donna Adelson, even being able to watch the kids, is what you said in one pleading.
One of the pleadings said something about the right of first refusal that he had, and she shouldn't be allowed to have the kids unsupervised, I think, during right of first refusal, because she was saying things about him to the kids, he thought.
And did the litigation between Dan Markel and Wendi Adelson continue even after you got off the case?
Once I got off the case, it was the end of June, and I think that he was gone within a few weeks after that.
So you were supposed to be a witness on Wendi Adelson's behalf, right?
Correct.
Were you ever able to have that hearing?
No.
Why not?
Because I got a call from Jimmy Judkins when I was in Tampa at something that he was dead. It was pretty shocking.
Does that happen very often in your divorces?
That does not. We've had a few people get murdered, and I've had a few suicides.
Okay.
But it's rare, and I remember all of them.
Right, but not contentious.
Sometimes, I don't know with the suicides, you know, I don't know.
That's all.
Thank you.
Redirect examination.
Briefly, Your Honor.
Yeah, interesting point to end on, because this lawyer, throughout her direct examination, kept painting the picture that this wasn't a contentious divorce, that everything was hunky-dory between Dan Markel and Wendi Adelson. And did you notice her choice of words? I heard this. I'm sure you did too, my friends. She said, then he was gone. Gone. He didn't die from natural causes. He was assassinated. There was a hit out on him, a plot to kill him. That's how he was taken from this earth. He was murdered. Interesting choice of language there from the lawyer. And then she qualified it saying, well, she's had, cases, unfortunately, where a murder occurs or a death by suicide. Let's see what happens on redirect. We're going to watch that next. We'll hit a quick break. Then who do you think will be the next witness called by Mama Donna's team? We'll find out together here on Court TV Live.
The WNBA is on Ion. The Sky travel to Wendi to clash against the Fever. Then the Liberty go coast to coast to take on the Storm. Coverage begins Friday night at 7. Find Ion wherever you watch. Ion, it's on. These are the cases that captivated the world.
Couldn't keep my life straight.
They were killed by their own children.
That challenged the legal system and ourselves. Court TV, Legendary Trials.
Back to court, I want to take you now. We're in the trial of Donna Adelson. We've got Wendi's former lawyer on the stand, the lawyer who represented her in that custody battle with Dan Markel, a battle we understand to be quite bitter, quite contentious at the time. This lawyer says no, says everything was very pleasant, said Wendi was always very calm. She's about to be redirected by Donna Adelson's lawyer now.
First witness.
You may.
Ms. Adamson, I'm going to approach and show you. I'm sorry. This dates demonstrative A. I think it's Court Exhibit 1, page 441 of the demonstrative. And then I'm holding 454. Can you hold that,
Sure.
please?
Okay.
Is that the March 26, 2014 pleading that Mr. Markel filed?
It appears to be.
Can you turn to 454 that I had tabbed?
Yes.
Is that the prayer for relief for that motion?
Yes.
Can you direct your attention to the portion that reflects my client's, Donna Adelson's, time with the children? Does that reflect that Mr. Markel was asking that my client's unsupervised time with the children not interfere with his right of first refusal?
I think you're talking about paragraph 6, where it says, enjoin the former wife from allowing the maternal grandmother to have unsupervised time with the children consistent with the right of first refusal. That was that right of first refusal.
Yes.
And to impose appropriate limitations to safeguard the children from being subjected to disparaging comments about their father.
Ms. Adamson, you testified that the divorce was not contentious, but some of his pleadings post-divorce were contentious.
I think that's accurate.
Okay. And that his pleadings were personal. He essentially he attacked both Wendi Adelson and yourself.
Correct.
Okay. Is that what caused you to withdraw?
I'm very used to personal attacks. I've had a lot of personal attacks. The only reason, and I'm fine with that, the only reason that I withdrew is because I was going to be a witness. Not because I cared what he said about me.
Had Mr. Markel not included in his pleadings these attacks, would that hearing have gone forward in May of 2014?
If he had not included personal attacks against me that I would have had to testify about, then I would have continued with the hearing.
Now, I want to go back to relocation. After the relocation hearing, my client, Donna Adelson, appeared to accept the court's ruling. To you.
As far as I know.
You don't know what she said privately, do you?
I do not.
Concerning Wendi Adelson's involvement in drafting of pleadings, I understood your testimony on cross to be that you'll take input from clients, but ultimately you're the one who is drafting the pleadings.
I take responsibility for my pleadings, and I've never filed a pleading based upon what a client told me I have to do. I will take input because I don't know all the facts. Sometimes I need more facts from them so that I can do it, but I'm ultimately responsible. My name's on those pleadings.
And so you're not going to cut and paste from what a client sends you?
Well, sometimes if they send me really good facts, I'll sort of go, oh, these are good facts, and then I'll take the facts and I'll put them in, but not legal arguments or anything like that, no.
So if you took facts that were provided to you by Wendi Adelson and put those in the factual statements or arguments concerning pleadings or memoranda, the law is still your own writing.
The law is, and I don't really think Wendi, I don't remember that Wendi had much input into any of it, honestly. She wasn't that client. I have clients that are those clients, and she was not that client. I get a lot of ChatGPT now, a lot, telling me what I should be filing.
I don't think you're the only one there, ma'am. Had you not withdrawn to be a witness, the motion would have been heard in May of 2014.
May or June, whenever it was set. I don't remember exactly when it was set.
Okay,
Whatever the docket says for whenever it was set, yeah.
So if the docket reflects, I think it was May 15th of 2014, the hearing would have gone forward.
Correct.
The judge would have been able to make a decision on all the pending issues.
I believe that's the case.
Nothing further?
Will this witness be recalled?
Just a moment. We'll retain her, but she's free to go about her business.
Thank you.
You may step down.